Okay, so it's time for more Beartildien, and well, we're currently in a battle against Umbar. I know, it's a bit of a weird switch up, isn't it? Because before, in the previous episode, we were attempting to help Rohan as much as possible. But I have just been notified that Gothmog himself has decided to switch up his tactics, and he has decided to come down into Gondorian territory even deeper than before, and has decided to besiege Linhir, and that is exactly why I am down here as well, or at least I am making my way down, and hopefully we will be able to get to Linhir before Gothmog decides to besiege it, because then we will no doubt have a pretty significant ability to affect the battle in our favor. Because as it stands, I believe Gothmog is probably going to have his usual amount of units, so probably something like, I don't know how much he'll have, probably like 240 or something like that, maybe 250, depends if he has gained rank points. Let's face it, he probably hasn't gained rank points since we utterly destroyed him, because let's face it, you know, we've had a pretty decent time dealing damage to Gothmog and ruining his fun times, I guess you could say. So I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, otherwise, we're going to tell our infantry to just charge straight on in here, because if they don't, they're probably just going to get pincushioned by the various marksmen that Umbar seems to be fielding right now, which is actually kind of weird. I actually wouldn't have expected them to be so good at ranged combat, but it seems like they are. So there's that, I guess. Ooh, they have Black Numenorians. Ooh, okay. I did not realize that they had Black Numenorians. Those guys are pretty good. They are probably some of the best units you can get in the game. At least that is what I've been led to believe. And hopefully we'll be able to survive. Where are my archers? Ah, I see. My archers have done a weird thing. They have gone to the very edge of the map, even though I have told them to charge, which is exactly what you do to get them to stop doing that weird formation stuff. So I guess I'm just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. And we're just going to have to take them out with my with my steel blade, or whatever it's made out of. And, well, that actually worked quite a bit better than I anticipated. Is this an enemy? Yeah, this is an enemy. I mean, he's wearing black, so I would expect him to be an enemy of some kind. Yeah, Black Numenorian, exactly. Those guys are pretty dangerous. Otherwise, that's it. That is indeed a victory for us. Very easy indeed. I wasn't saying it was going to be difficult. There was only 124 here, but let's face it, if we can weaken these other factions, and I'm talking about the evil men factions here, if we can weaken them enough and then eliminate them, we will have an even better chance at basically just winning the entire thing, really. So, you know, just trying to weaken Mordor's position as much as possible along the way as well is very, very much necessary. Alright, so for this particular battle, basically what I'm doing is I'm literally just charging in. And I personally don't feel like we need to do anything else. Although I do have one cavalry in the form of Glorfindel. I think he is tagged as cavalry. I think he should be tagged as archery or archers, but I think he might be tagged as cavalry. But whatever the case, if he's not tagged as that, no, it doesn't seem like he is. Well, that's actually pretty bad, because he's just going to charge in there and absolutely die and kill himself. So I'm going to actually tell my forces to hold position, or tell my archers at the very least to hold position, and hopefully they will actually do as I ask them to this time around, because in the previous battle they kind of went a little bit loopy and they went off to the side. So hopefully they won't do that this time. But otherwise, I am actually really close by to Linhir right now, and Gothmog has ceased his siege effort. And instead, you know what he's done? He's actually attacked Prince Imrahil himself. So yeah, I do have a little bit of a friend in the area, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, and that means that we don't really have to worry about Linhir actually being taken that easily, because I'm pretty sure that Prince Imrahil has everything in hand and would probably be able to beat Gothmog without my assistance. I think he probably could. So we'll see how that is after we get out of this battle. And again, this guy really did not have that many units to his name. So let's take a look and see exactly what's going on here, shall we? So this is currently what's going on. You can see here that Gothmog has 222 against Faramir, against Hurin, against Prince Imrahil, and a couple of others. And they're doing a fantastic job. As you can see, they're just piling on Gothmog now. And I'm actually going to try and prevent Gothmog from escaping. So if he does try to run, I'm going to try and stop him if I can. Because I would like to... Yep, there we go. He was defeated. Fantastic. Yes, there you go. That is really good. Also, Gundabad has been besieged. Gondor is now strong. Look at that. Their combat strength is now strong thanks to all of our efforts. How crazy. That's really nice. Okay, so now, what do we want to do? Well, I would love to be able to take this Umbaran camp and indeed maybe destroy it or something. So maybe what I can do is I can go over to Prince Imrahil and maybe I can ask him to do just that. I think that would be pretty advantageous for us, but I don't know whether that's really going to work. So we'll see. Oh, he's actually going... Oh, we might be able to do this. We might be able to do this. I am quite... It's going to be a bit tricky, I think, but we might be able to do it. Let's do it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. All right, let's go. Let's go. And that's it. Yeah, now I'm worried. Now I am a bit worried because if we don't have more units than just him and me, then this might very well be pretty risky. It might be pretty risky, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Angbor the Fearless once again being defeated. Yeah, well. We'll see how it goes. Yes, there's another Umbaran right there. Oh, there's another couple, actually. Okay, I'm going to need to intercept this guy. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got into a battle with him, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Now, it may seem like a weird thing for us to do this, but it is definitely something we wanted to do because we did not want him to join the battle nearby and then have, I don't know, 360 units piling on in that one battle. So this is going to be so much easier for us to deal with, and I think personally, because we are now just my units alone, without any Gondorian units, no offense Gondor, your units are fine, but they are no Elven units, that's for sure. The Elven archers at the very least are fantastic, so we really don't want anyone else to come into this particular battle and, well, make it harder for us in the long run. So what we're going to do is just move our forces just here. Going to tell them to stand closer a little bit as well. And then I'm just going to get out my bow and try and shoot at a couple of enemies as well. I am pretty awful at long range, by the way, so just bear that in mind. Sometimes I get a bit lucky and I will hit someone, but for the most part I am pretty awful at long range, so I'm probably just going to stop and wait until they get a little bit closer. Oh, the sun is blinding me. Well, that's not very nice. But yeah, my archers are perfectly fine with that. They really don't mind being blinded by the sun. They're just shrugging it off like no one's business. They really just don't care. Yeah, well, seems like my bow cares because I haven't gotten one kill. There's one kill. There's another one. That is terrible. That is frankly awful. Oh well, never mind. I guess at least if I am hitting shields, then it is going to destroy those shields, and then it will allow my forces to maybe, take them down. But yeah, you can see here, the enemy has literally just... Look at this. How crazy. 110 and counting. They have just literally evaporated in front of us. Wow. That's the power of Elven archers, that is for sure. Absolutely. Look at that. How crazy. Okay, so there is actually one more enemy here. I can't see him, but there we go. This is actually the captain himself. Never mind. He was killed by a master ranger of Ithilien. Very nice. All right, so let's continue onward and see. This is exactly what's going on here. So we have... Oh, look at this. He's actually called for some people to help him. This is pretty fantastic, actually. I'm wondering whether... Oh, I'm going to have to go in here and help out. This is definitely not something I want to do, considering Rohan is now being defeated for some reason. Where are they being defeated? Because I don't see where that would be. I have no idea, but otherwise, what's going on up here? Yeah, okay, so Mirkwood Outpost is under siege. That is good. And everything else is going pretty fine. Dol Guldur is still being annoying, and everyone else is doing fine. I'm still surprised that Moria has not been eliminated, but maybe I shouldn't be so surprised considering there's usually around 1,300 goblins in the garrison there. So it is pretty significant. Let's see what our lords decide to do. Oh yes, they're going to pile in. They're going to pile in. This is exactly what we want. Although I'm going to go in here first because I would like to try and make it so that we don't, again, have Gondorian units too many in here. Because, I'd much rather finish this battle up in a minute rather than 5 because there are more Gondorian units cluttering up the battlefield. No offense, Gondor, once again. It's just the truth, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. So let's get our Elven units over there. Get them to stand closer a little bit as well. And maybe I can hone my skills a little bit. Maybe I can try and get a couple more long-range kills. Oh, yes, that was a nice little bit of damage right there. Very nice. Oh, the Royal Marksmen just do so much damage. I mean, let's face it, everyone seems to do so much damage. And I should actually not say that only Elven units are capable of doing massive damage, because the Ithilien Rangers are actually capable of doing quite a bit themselves as well. So it is really not just, it's not just them. It's not just the elves that are capable of doing some good damage. At least, as far as I'm aware, the Ithilien Rangers are actually men, aren't they? Hello. Yeah, they seem to be men. So, I mean, they have beards, they have beards. So that kind of says that they are men, indeed. So otherwise, yeah, that's it. That is indeed it. We can just tell everyone to charge. And hopefully we will be able to then take the Corsair camp. And, well, that will be it for Umbar. And then maybe what I can do is maybe just try and help Gondor to just kind of push these guys back. And then they will have an even better time of defeating Mordor, and indeed hopefully then defeating Isengard as well. As you can see, I've now been promoted to rank 15. I think I am actually the highest rank with Gondor, more than even the Elven factions, because I have been helping them so incredibly much over this this period of off-screen time as well. Ah, yes, just absolutely crazy. Okay, so those guys are doing some annoying stuff by running away there. And let's see exactly what happens here. I'm going to just level up a couple of our forces. Luvana also did level up. And, whoa, what do we want to do with her? What do we want to do? I actually don't know. So we'll probably just go for intelligence. Maybe some trainer skill. Probably not worth it. So we'll go for Power Strike and Iron Flesh, I suppose. Go for some more one-handed. And this is exactly what we want. Look at this. Oh yes, this is fantastic. So now he has started the siege, and we can only hope that he is actually going to finish it. Because as we have seen in the past, the AI can be a little, shall we say, rough about things. Now what I am actually going to do is I'm going to head in here and just defeat this enemy really, really fast, because we really just don't want any Gondorian patrols or caravans or lords or anyone. We don't want any Gondorian unit ever to die anymore. We basically want to try and save as many of them as possible to try and preserve that superior combat strength which we currently have, or at least they're on the verge of having strong combat strength, but they keep going back and forth. And so hopefully we'll be able to keep it at a relatively near constant strength of strong or higher. That's going to really make a huge difference. But as it stands, I think we might do it. I think we might be able to eliminate the Corsair camp, which would make all the difference. I'm actually going to try and do damage to the horse. Yep, there we go. Because those guys have lances, and you really don't want those lances to take out your guys so incredibly easily. There's 25 damage. I actually got shot in the face right there, but I could just shrug it off. Literally just due to how much HP I have. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to have that amount. So we're going to just go in here a little bit. and see if I can do a little bit of damage, a little bit of stabby. I actually really like stabbing with this weapon as well. I think I've gotten a lot better over the years at using the stab attack. I used to be really, you just did not want me to use the thrusting attack with any weapon whatsoever when I first started playing Warband. And I won't even tell you. I mean, you can see it all on video, really. I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. It really is. Because whenever I'd have like a weapon that would do piercing damage, I'd always be like, oh, that's a thrust, right? Yeah, that can do a thrusting attack. And I'm like, yeah, but then everyone in the comments is saying to me, you know, they're all being helpful. You know, they're all saying things like, yeah, you should use the piercing against heavily armored units. You know, you should use, you know, that against this and this against that and so on and so forth. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, that's really cool. Because at that point, I didn't really know anything about the various damage types. You know, I didn't know about cutting, didn't know about the piercing, and I also didn't know about blunt. But then, obviously, over the time of playing the game, over the years of playing the game, I would come to know all of these things, just like anyone else that plays it for an extended period of time. And then eventually, I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and use this a little bit more. I'm going to try and use, you know, use the thrusting ability a little bit more. And initially, I was awful. Just really, really bad. And yeah, just the sight of me attempting to thrust at an opponent and then just going like, oh, minus 83% speed bonus, you do 0 damage or 1 or something like that. Yeah, I just really didn't get the timing down very, very well. And that was kind of amusing, but also kind of excruciating at the same time. But otherwise, let's see what happens here with these fellows. Oh, seems like West Emnet is now being besieged by someone from the Dunish. I'm not a big fan of that. I would like to be able to go over there and help out Rohan, but we really do need to stick with... Yeah, they're going in. They are actually going in. Oh, this is fantastic. I am forever indebted to Prince Imrahil because I think we will probably be able to have a decisive victory here. So let's go in. Because this is the kind of map that I absolutely love. For archers as well, by the way. I don't know whether you know this map. Because if you've seen Bear Uruk's adventures, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about here. This is just a glorious map for archers in every single way. I can literally just come here and I can shoot these guys with basically almost reckless abandon because there's just so many openings. There's no walls to speak of. They are on ships and you can literally just come here and you can just go, oh yeah, I can shoot these guys from all the way across the harbor. You know, you can theoretically do that if you're good enough or if you don't get shot as many times as I am. So, you know, it's really, really cool. I like this map a lot. And I just wish I wasn't getting shot so much. But maybe I can eliminate the ones that are actually shooting at me. But yeah, it is just so incredibly easy to win in this particular siege. And that's exactly the reason why I like it. You know, it's just so nice for archers. Specifically archers, because you can, as I say, you can just have such an easy time shooting the opponent from a pretty serious distance away. And I'm just going to stand here and just hack away at their shins, because that's what we do. We are the shin kicker, I guess, or shin slasher in this case. And yeah, it's just... oh, yeah, I like this map a lot. I was actually a bit dreading it if it was the Harad one. I think Harad is the one where you have that big camp. And I was a bit worried about that because I thought we might have some issues there. But thankfully it is not that, and it is this one. So we should have a pretty easy time of things. And I can literally just slash away however I want. And we can already see we've eliminated 268 enemies so far. And I can even just get out my bow and I can just shoot out these guys a little bit more. There we go. Take them down. Take down these guys. Headshots galore, all over the place right here. Because they're just fish in a barrel. They're fish in a barrel right now. It is just super easy to get these guys dead. And that's exactly the reason why having an archery force, why I have no idea how Rohan would do in this kind of situation. Because let's face it, they don't have, you know, the same kind of archers. They do have horse archers as far as I'm aware, but they, well, vastly different from how the elves work. So it's going to be pretty harsh. Can I use, oh yeah, I can use archery captain here. That's pretty cool. Wasn't really aware of that, so that's pretty nice. Okay, let's just try and kill that guy. There we go. Okay, so we're going to have some issues here. I might actually even die, but I'm actually just going to move back a little bit, just so that it favors me a little more, the environment, because this is definitely favoring me being on this slope, because I can basically, again, hack away at their shins, and that is basically how we're avoiding damage for the most part at the moment. And yeah, you can see more enemies coming in here, but that's okay, you know? We don't really mind about Prince Imrahil losing too many units, because, let's face it, he's going to be forever thankful that we headed in here in the first place, because then we're going to be in a situation where there's basically like no one left. Look at this. Look at this. We've already eliminated 600. Could you have ever imagined that we would have eliminated 600 in such a short span of time? No, it's because of the map. The map gives us such an overwhelming advantage with ranged units. And even, I mean, that's the thing, even if you run around with, I mean, even if it's like a, you know, like a case of you running around with Uruks and fighting on this map, you're still going to have a pretty fun time if you don't have any archers, because if you just stand in their spawn area and you have a whole bunch of, I don't know, fell Uruk slayers or something like that, someone really, you know, someone really beefy and hard to kill and does a lot of damage in melee, you're going to have a fantastic time, you know? And that's why I like this map a lot, because it's not really balanced towards the defenders at all, and I think that that's actually really cool, because it kind of gives, I don't know, it kind of gives you an easier landing point for your first initial attack, if you know what I mean. And I think that really makes a huge difference in the dynamicism of the mod itself as well, because you may think to yourself, well, surely it should be difficult. Well, yeah, it is in a way, because you do need to have quite a few units to be able to even do this. You need to have influence to be able to tell the guy to go and do the siege initially. But what I'm saying is, it's a nice little stepping stone, and it gets things rolling, you know, it gets the ball rolling, because you won't be able to take out Minas Morgul initially, will you? It's probably not going to happen that easily, but, you know, I'm just saying that it's a pretty cool thing to do. I like it. All right, so we're going to just capture a bunch of guys, or not capture, but we're going to rescue a bunch of guys, and then we'll just give them to the nearby garrison or whatever the case. And they're going to be overwhelmed with joy, no doubt. Not going to be taking any prisoners. And there you go. We have raised the Corsair camp, which is fantastic. So we are now going to go over to Caer Andros. I'm just going to allow him to do whatever he wants now, even though I think my suggestion was actually pretty good and has resulted in some good stuff. As you can see, Umbar is no more, so we no longer have to worry about them being annoying in this area, and Gondor has a slightly better border. Yeah, they're still going to get invaded very, very easily, but they have a slightly better border. And otherwise, yes, now this is the problem here. This is the problem. Rohan is having some issues. Oh, hello, Gothmog. You now have 266, and he still has 13% HP, so you can tell he's just gone back, gotten some troops, and then he's just come back out, and he's just like, I have 13% HP. I don't care about anything apart from killing everyone, apparently. So yeah, that's not very nice of him, is it? Well, I don't expect him to be that nice. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so yeah, they are going to go somewhere where they're just patrolling around West Osgiliath. That's kind of weird. I have a feeling that Gothmog is probably going to try and do something, because usually when I have a bad feeling, he's usually right around the corner. So that's definitely something that's going to happen. And we're going to go in and help this Rohirrim patrol against 132. I didn't really want to go here, but it's kind of necessary. And otherwise, we'll just have to stand closer with our forces. We're just going to let our archers do the business, because I feel like the enemies are just going to charge forward. I think they will probably just charge forward, and we will be able to massacre them just straight up. We won't have to even worry about progressing forward. I don't think they're going to take any formations or anything like that either, so it should be fine. Let's tell our infantry and our cavalry to go down here though, just so that our archers have a little bit more free space. And then they will have a better line of sight as well. And you know what? I'm actually going to fire a couple of arrows off as well, because why not? Might get a couple of, you know, cheap kills here or there. I mean, there are so. I mean, this is the kind of vision that you want to see. You know, this is the kind of sight that you want to have when you are playing this kind of mod. Because let's face it, it's an asymmetrical campaign, and I really love asymmetrical games. In that way, you know, there are not enough asymmetrical single-player games, in my opinion. I mean, there are a lot of asymmetrical multiplayer games, and some of them do it really, really well, and some of them do it not so well. So it's kind of one of those things. But this is doing asymmetrical gameplay really, really nicely, because you have overwhelming amounts of numbers in terms of orcs coming over that horizon. And just basically being like, hey, I'd like to eat your face. And then the elves are like, no, thank you. And then they shoot them. And that's the great thing about it, you know. But, of course, I guess there are... Basically, every single-player game is an asymmetrical game, isn't it? Now that I think about it. Oh, well, never mind. Just scratch what I said. Yeah. But anyway, the point is that mods I'm more talking about more than games. But, yeah, because mods usually... What they'll do is they'll just, you know, concentrate on factions fighting factions, and they'll fight the same kind of faction that they actually are, if you know what I mean. So they'll basically have, like, if we use native terms, they'll have Swadia fighting Rodox, and they're still men, you know, they're still men fighting men, and, you know, it doesn't really change that much, with the exception of the gear and some of the skills and stuff like that. But in the last days, it makes everything so much different. It feels different because you're fighting an overwhelming horde of enemies coming towards you, and there's so many of them, and if you don't have the numbers yourself, you're going to get overrun very, very quickly. So that is a pretty cool little bit of, well, as I say, asymmetry. It is kind of asymmetrical, I guess, in that way. But yeah, otherwise, we are here now at Caer Andros, and I'm going to go into the barracks. And we're just going to give them a whole bunch, because we can. And I don't really want these guys in my army as it is, even though they're perfectly acceptable. No problem at all with them at all. You know, I really don't have any issues with them. I just don't really like using Gondor units in an Elven playthrough. That's basically all it is. Alright, so there you go. They gave me 1,000. It's not even that much. Alright, so Caer Andros has 171 in the garrison now, which is actually pretty good. And I think what we're going to try and do is we'll probably try and take the Haradrim camp at some point. But I don't... Ooh, some Lothlorien guy was defeated? I'm actually kind of surprised about that. I am actually quite surprised. Huh. I don't know how he would have been defeated. Yeah, probably by Dol Guldur and some Moria vassals as well, because they do tend to gang up quite a lot. So there is also that. Rivendell camp has been besieged. Rivendell? Lord Elrond, where are you? Where are you, Hugo Weaving? I don't know where he is, but... Well, whatever the case. Oh no, there we go. It's no longer under siege now, so that's pretty good. Seems like everything seems okay around Rohan territory. I don't even know where to find these guys anymore, because they were showing themselves really easily around Westfold, so maybe I should just go and check that again. That's where I was able to find a lot of the Isengard vassals before. Wow, King Thranduil was actually eliminated as well. Kind of surprised about that too. And it seems like no one is around Westfold either. Hello. Hello. Okay, so yes. Dunish. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop roaming around right now. I'm just going to show you the combat strength for the most part. So you can see here, Gondor is actually doing pretty nicely. Not amazingly, but they're doing much better than any other faction, with the exception of Mirkwood Elves. Look at the Mirkwood Elves. They're actually doing fantastically. This is my own faction. This is great. This is really, really cool. I'm actually proud to see that they're doing such an amazing job. And yeah, they are no longer open to sieges, as you can see right there. Factions are normally sieged when below 5,700 strength. That is really cool. All right, so what else do we have going on here? Kent is actually weaker than Harad. That's kind of weird. Okay, I wouldn't have expected that. Moria is very weak. Dunish, very weak as well. And how's Mordor doing? Mordor is actually, wow, they're just a couple of points over Rohan. That is very strange. Wow, I guess it is literally just all of my work in hunting down Gothmog. Gothmog is the guy, you know. He's the guy that's either going to be winning the battle for Mordor or going to be losing it because he keeps getting eliminated all the time. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, that is kind of amazing. And I just feel like all the systems in the last days are really, really enjoyable to use. Anyway, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. And let me know. Let me know in the comments. What would you like me to siege next? Because I think the Haradrim camp is probably going to be my choice. But I'm very interested to hear what you think, because I could very easily go for Cant. I could try and suggest to the, well, maybe not the Gondorian vassals, because we really don't want to pull them all off defending their fiefs. But we could get the Rohan vassals maybe on board, if I can. That might be a bit difficult. What we could do, actually, is we could lead a bunch of Lothlorien elves over to Moria, and we could probably try and take that. So that might be an option as well. But let me know what you think. We might even want to go up to Gundabad and just stomp out the Gundabad goblins, because they're being quite a thorny nuisance. And that might be a bit, maybe something to do. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.